What's up, you guys? Alex here with SWOOD with A-Rod. I'm going to show you guys a couple things today. This week we have a nesting file, and I'm going to show you guys how to set up some auto toolpaths. And in particular, I want to set up a toolpath for this pocket that I have here that's cut out in the center of this panel. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So what we'll start off with, we're going to jump over to our SWOOD CAM tab, and we're going to look for our auto pocket. Your auto toolpaths are set up so that way whenever you create a nesting file, you'll have toolpaths already applied. And that's good if you have toolpaths that are repeated a lot throughout your nesting files. For example, we just have this little pocket here that's just dead center in this panel. So we're going to create a toolpath for that. First, we need to drop in our tools. So I have two in particular that I want to use today. So the first one's going to be a 1/2-inch down cut tool, and the second one is going to be a 1/4-inch down cut tool. So cool. As you can see over here, kind of fix my feature tree. I have both that 1/2-inch down cut and 1/4-inch down cut. So now we want to go ahead and create that toolpath. So I'm just going to come over here, click on Auto Pocket. It's going to bring up a little menu here. And what I'm going to look for are my tools on this right-hand side. So as I can see, I have Tool 2, 1/2-inch down cut. So I'm going to click on that, and I have a lot of options. So for this one in particular, I'm going to start off with pocket milling, and you want to make sure that you hit this Add button, not the green button, because if you hit the green button, you'll lose all your progress. So I'll hit Add, and basically I have my toolpath here. I'm not going to focus too much on the settings here. I know as a machinist, like, you definitely want to dial in these values here. But just for the example today, I'm going to keep these mostly default. So yeah, I have that there. So I'm going to go ahead, select check, and I'm just going to test it out. So now my Tool 2 1/2-inch down cut has a drop down, so I can click on that drop down and I can see that toolpath. And I can also see that my toolpath is for here, but it's also being cut over here as well. So you have some options to edit that. If you come over to your machinings tab, not the toolpath, but the machinings, you can right click on that and select edit selection. And there's a lot of filters that allow you to weed out the toolpaths that you don't want to apply. So let's say you don't want open pockets, or you want to keep your feature only to selected components. You have those options. But for auto pockets, I typically keep all components on, so that way you don't have to choose the parts that you want to include every time you nest. But yeah, just for this instance here, I'm actually going to keep this one open while we're building it. So cool. We have our toolpath for that 1/2-inch down cut. And now I actually want to add a feature. I want to add a 1/4-inch resume angles. That way my pocket, instead of having a 1/2-inch stock remaining, I'll have a 1/4-inch stock remaining, which just kind of allows for more clearances whenever I create these pockets that are closed off on all four sides. I'm going to right click on the auto pocket itself. I'm going to select edit. So now I'm going to click on 1/4-inch down cut, and I'm going to find my resume pocket angles, this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and select not this check button, but the add button. And for this one, I'm going to change this value a little bit just so it looks a little prettier. And I'm going to go ahead and accept that. So now when we go in, we see that we have a toolpath applied to this 1/4-inch down cut. And as we can see here, oh, that's a little funky. You know what? I did that in millimeters. I need to adjust this to inches. So I'm going to do 0.125 inches. Let's see if that fixes my issue. Okay, awesome. So now we have our resume angles. So that's just going to, I'll go ahead and simulate it for you so you guys can see it. Oh yeah, and there's all sorts of other components that are being cut here. I'm going to go ahead and go to Edit Selection. I'm going to remove other pockets. And I think that'll clean up a lot of my toolpaths that I don't want to go. So now I just have this long toolpath going through this groove here, and then the resume angles here. So yeah, let's go ahead and simulate that. So as you can see, I have that one there. See if I can skip this toolpath, speed it up. Okay, it just had to come back. So now when we look at it, it's just cleaning up those four corners just like so. All right, cool. So I have my 1/2 inch down cut and my 1/4 inch down cut. And the reason that I did it that way is so that both of these tool paths are both associated with this machining toolpath. And I'm going to go ahead and rename this now. So I'm going to call this 1/2 inch down, and we're going to do pocket, and then 1/4 inch finish angle, FA for finish angle. So we'll call it that. And now we're going to jump over to our machining library over here. We'll select this, and we're going to click this machining and just drag it on over. So as you can see here, I now have that 1/2 inch down pocket, 1/4 inch FA. And this one was my test file earlier, so I'll go ahead and delete this one. We just want the one we just made. So cool. Our toolpath is created. Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys how to set this up in your nesting assembly so that way it applies to all your sheets without you having to manually drag it. And maybe before that I'll show you how to manually drag it. So let's go ahead, delete this, delete this, delete this. And actually we do want to edit this a little bit. So in our machining library, when we go to our tools, you want to make sure that you add always insert tool. I always have trouble when I don't have that clicked. It's for both options, so that's going to go ahead and save it. So now when I have this 1/2 inch down pocket, 1/4 inch FA, I can go ahead and drag it on my assembly. It adds in my two tools and the tool paths associated with them. So there we go. And now that my toolpath is created, I can come down and edit selection, and like I don't want this panel cut, this groove cut with that finish angles. So I'm just going to select components. I'm just going to select this one. So now when I do that, it is filtered out this panel here. So when I go and simulate this, it's only doing those four corners, not including that groove there. Okay, so cool. I've got that the way that I wanted. That's manually dragging over the toolpath from my machining library, and it has those two toolpaths associated with it. So now we want to set up the auto toolpath. So you have to do that in your nesting assembly. So I'm going to come over here. So just to show you guys, excuse me, basically select this, and you're going to select this little pencil right in the corner, and this takes you back to like the overall nesting assembly. So this allows you to set up different values. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here to automatic machining insertion. I'm going to select on my machine, and I'm going to look for that auto pocket here. So I have that 1/2 inch down, 1/4 inch pocket, FA. I have this drilling, auto drillings. I'm just going to go ahead and disable that for everything else. But I have that 1/2 inch down pocket, 1/4 inch FA. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Select yes. And now I'm going to recreate a nesting file, and I'm just going to accept that. So now a new nesting file is being created. And now when I do that, when I jump over to my CAM library, I can see that that toolpath is just automatically there. I don't have to come over, drag it over, and apply it to each sheet. When I go through each sheet here, so if I go to sheet 2, the 1/2 inch down cut with the pocket milling has been applied. even if there aren't any toolpaths to apply it to. So as you can see, the sheet doesn't have any toolpaths to apply there, but I could see that that has been applied to each of the sheets. So there you go. There's how you create your auto machining and how you add multiple toolpaths to that auto machining and how you make it automatic in your nesting file. I hope that helps you guys out, and catch you guys next week for some more tips. Thanks.